Hi class 10 students, welcome back. So this is our lecture number 6 of the chapter Life Process. So guys, here we will study about the respiratory system. Now let us see the process of respiration in human beings occurs in a special system called as respiratory system. So in our body, the respiration it occurs in a special system, and that system is called as respiratory system. Okay, now see, human respiratory system consists of nostrils, pharynx, larynx, which is also known as the voice box, trachea, it is the windpipe, bronchi, so bronchi are the branches of windpipe, and the bronchioles, so these are the bronchioles, okay, and the bronchi is this. Now we will study about this part, so let us see. So these are the nostrils, that means the opening of the nose, okay. Now as you can see here, air passes through the nostrils, right? And see here, this is the passes. So inside the passes there are fine hair, right? As you can see here, inside the passes there are fine hair present in it. Okay, so now when air passes through it, so that air it gets filtered by the fine hair. Okay, so the air as it gets inside through the passes, that air has got dust and that is get purified by the fine hair present in it. Okay, so that air becomes moist and warm. Now inside the nose there are special mucus secreting cells. Okay, so it mucus secreting cell, this one is the mucus secreting cell. Now they secrete mucus which traps the dust particles. So those mucus they traps the dust particles. Okay, and this is the mucus. Now these are the dust particles. Okay, so see here the respiratory tract, as it is, I said it includes the nostrils, pharynx, larynx, trachea. Then now here see the trachea, which is known as the windpipe. The trachea has rings of cartilage which ensure that the air passes does not collapse. Okay, as you can see here from the structure, this trachea it has rings of cartilage. Can you see it? It is not plain. It has rings of cartilage which ensure that the air passes does not collapse. Okay, then what is present? Bronchi. Now bronchi, as I already told, it is the branches of windpipe and the bronchioles. Now see, these are the alveoli. At the end of bronchioles, the alveoli are present. So alveoli are small balloon-like sacs, and these two are the lungs. Okay, now see here, these are the respiratory organs, and below this the lungs, the diaphragm is present. Okay, here the lungs are located in thoracic cavity. So thoracic cavity means in the chest cavity. Now see here, this is the thoracic cavity. Okay, as you can see here, this is the thoracic cavity, and these two are our lungs. So the lungs are located in a thoracic cavity. I hope everyone is clear. Okay, now see here, when we breathe in, we lift our ribs and flatten our diaphragm, and as a result, chest cavity becomes larger. So because of this, air is sucked into the lungs and fills the expanded alveoli. Now as you can see here, while breathing, we lift our ribs and it flattens our diaphragm. So as a result, our chest cavity becomes larger. So because of this, air is sucked into our lungs and then it fills the expanded alveoli. Clear? Okay, now we will study this part in more detail. Now see here, this is called bronchi. So bronchi are the branches of windpipe, right? And these are called bronchioles. So bronchioles are the branches of bronchi. Now see here, at the end of bronchioles, these alveoli are present. So alveoli is nothing, just balloon-like sacs. Okay, now see here in alveoli, the thin walls of the alveoli are closely surrounded by a network of blood capillaries. Now can you see here, the walls of the alveoli, they are being surrounded by network of blood capillaries. Here capillaries means thin blood vessels. So the alveoli, they are surrounded by thin blood vessels. Okay, now let us see how exchange of gases takes place. Now while breathing, oxygen enters the lungs and then into alveoli. So see here, while breathing, oxygen is entering into the lungs and then it enters into the alveoli. As I already told you, the alveoli are surrounded by blood capillaries, that means which contain blood. Okay, now see here, this is our alveoli. which is surrounded by blood capillaries, and these are our body cells. Okay, now see here, the hemoglobin present in the RBCs of the blood absorbs oxygen from the thin walls of the capillaries. We already know that hemoglobin, it is present in the RBCs of the blood, that means the red blood cells of the blood, and this hemoglobin, they absorb oxygen from the thin walls of the capillaries. Okay, so this is called RBC, that means the red blood cells, and these platelet structures are called hemoglobin. Okay, this oxygen is carried to all the tissues of the body. Clear, everyone? At the same time, carbon dioxide from the tissues is taken up by hemoglobin and is released into the alveoli by diffusion. So carbon dioxide is also present in our tissues, which is taken up by the hemoglobin, and it releases it into the alveoli by the process of diffusion. Now see here, this carbon dioxide goes out of the body when we breathe out air. So this is how the carbon dioxide gets out of our body. Alright. Now hemoglobin helps in exchange of gases between the alveoli and the surrounding tissues. I hope everyone is clear how hemoglobin helps in exchange of gases between our alveoli and the surrounding tissues. Okay, so hemoglobin is also called as respiratory pigment. I hope everyone is clear now. Now see here, during the breathing cycle, when air is taken in and let out, the lungs always contain a residual volume of air so that there is sufficient time for oxygen to be absorbed and for carbon dioxide to be released. Now see here, during the breathing cycle, so in this cycle, when the air is taken in and out, our lungs, it always contain a residual volume of air, because so that it can get sufficient time for oxygen to be absorbed and for the carbon dioxide to be released. Clear, everyone? Alright, now see the exchange of gases in plants. Okay, now plants do not have respiratory organs like us. Okay, now these plants are stationary. Stationary means fixed at one place. They don't move from place to place, obviously. So their energy requirement is also less. Definitely. Now, so the process of respiration is slower as compared to animals. So the process of respiration in plants is slower as compared to animals. So there is very little transport of gases. Now these gases are exchanged by the process of diffusion. So by the process of diffusion, this exchange of gases takes place. So as I already told you, diffusion means from higher concentration to lower concentration. Okay, now see here, during daytime, due to open stomata, respiration and photosynthesis is simultaneous, right? So as you can see here, during daytime, oxygen is released by the process of photosynthesis, and this oxygen is utilized for respiration. Okay, and here the carbon dioxide is given out. So the carbon dioxide is used for photosynthesis, and this is how plant use the carbon dioxide. Okay, now see here, during night time there is no process of photosynthesis, and if there is no process of photosynthesis, there is no release of oxygen, right? So here during respiration, more carbon dioxide is eliminated. Okay, so during night time there is more elimination of carbon dioxide. Okay students, so we are done for today's lecture number 6. Thank you.